All right. Do you have the sheet or whatever so we
I
can
do. Yeah, I got our professionally designed title card.
profession design handle card. Ready?
Mm.
Okay, hold on. I
Yep.
gotta hit share advanced computer audio. Good to go. And I'm hitting go.
Welcome to Earl and the Idiot, the show that gives you the answers you need to take your business to the next level.
Is it
With
backwards
Earl
for you?
Formata, one of Vancouver's most sought-after business and marketing consultants, author of Business Engine Optimization, consultant to over 60 successful businesses,
This
an
guy.
all-around evil marketing genius with a combined total of more than $70 million worth of sales to his credit.
Wow.
And some idiot. Okay, here we go.
Here we go.
Yeah, I think you
All
spelled
right.
idiot on the place card wrong.
Isn't that great? I could have fixed it, but then I would have looked less like an idiot.
There you go.
I couldn't remember which side of the O the I went on, so I just sort of put it on both.
I'll
I
tell you,
do it fresh every week.
I before E except after idiot.
Yeah, except in the middle of idiot,
There you
especially in
go.
the middle of idiot.
So
I'll tell you something. When people say they have messy handwriting,
uh
and I say I have messy handwriting, and they go, no, mine's really messy. I go, no, mine's messy. I've only ever lost once. Every time I win that, there's only one guy who ever beat me.
oh seriously.
And since I left school and don't write things by hand anymore, it's gotten so much worse.
Yeah, absolutely. No, my handwriting has just fallen to crap ever since, like, hey, you put a keyboard in my hand. Why am I writing stuff? So
Yeah. I take notes when I'm interviewing clients on like our discussion. I can't read them afterwards. I look at them. I'm like, what word
Is
was
that
that?
bad?
Like it's not even messy handwriting. It's a total disconnect. Like I'm talking to the guy and he says, I don't know, we need a certificate or something. I'll just write, sir, and just like a doctor's prescription pad,
Excellent. So hey, Apple came up with this thing where I can use here you go, my phone as a camera. I wanted to show you the difference. So like this is my
Okay.
normal fuzzy crappy camera self, and I'm gonna switch to the iPhone camera. It switches to this.
Oh my Lord.
And this is like night and day difference. So like, holy cow.
Crap.
So I was gonna buy a big fancy camera for my
Yeah.
rig here and get it all set up, and I'm like, you know what? Screw it. I bought a $17 iPhone stand, and then stuck my phone on it and went, yo man, look at this video difference. This is crazy.
Wow, that's incredible.
So there you go.
I should
right,
give that a
on the
try.
right, kind of the right color and everything. It's great.
You're making me look bad. No, I look
no.
pasty. Hang on, let me warm up my color here. Hang on.
So there you
No,
go.
that's brighter. That's warmer. There you go. At least I
There
don't
you
look like a vampire.
There you go. So
All
yeah,
right,
I
we
wanted
should-
to show you the difference. It's like, holy cow, like that's strikingly different.
It's amazing.
So-
I'm jealous. I'm gonna have to. Yeah, I was thinking of getting a camera too, but I guess I already have one. I just need to use it. Just use
Yeah,
a
who
piece of
knew?
coat. Use a piece of coat hanger, hang it off my screen.
Well, I mean, these stupid iPhones are made of like witchcrafted unicorns. I don't know how the hell their stupid camera works, but like every single version comes up with a better camera. It's like, okay, now you can take pictures of the moon and they won't look like crap. All right, I guess we'll see.
Yeah. You can zoom in on the moon enough to see the little lunar lander they left behind.
Yeah, exactly. There you go.
So, welcome to Earl and the Idiot, the show where we're going to tell you business secrets from a evil genius.
There we go.
And I'm here to be.
Some of the new guys don't know why it's called Earl and the Idiot, so we should probably
yeah.
rehash that.
Yeah, well, we need the outro as well, right? The outro explains it. The point is, in order to be smart, you got to ask dumb questions.
There you go.
You got to be willing to be stupid, because if you're willing to be stupid, when you realize you're in the presence of somebody who knows more than you do, and you don't have to protect your ego by pretending like you know everything, then you find out what you need to find out. So I'm here to be the idiot. It sort of came about because I always end up feeling like an idiot when I talk to Earl. Especially the worst. I feel most like it's the one thing if I go, he's telling me something I don't know anything about. The worst is when I feel like I got a handle on something, like I think I understand it, and I'll try to act like, you know what I'm talking about, Earl. You know how when you're marketing, you do this, that, and the other thing. You know how it is. And you're like, yeah, I used to do that 12 years ago. Now I found this new app that does it in 2 seconds instead of 6 weeks, and then I feel like an idiot. But if I don't get too touchy about it, I can just take in that information and go forward that much smarter.
Hey, how do you think I feel when I find these damn things? I'm like, son of a, I've been doing this the same way for 10 years. And then it's like, are you kidding me? Drives me crazy.
Exactly. So, but somehow you're always ahead of everybody else in finding out these things.
It's kind of a crash hobby of mine, I guess. It's I keep on the bleeding edge all the damn time because it's just one of those things. It's like, hey, I wonder if this has changed in the last who knows how long. Oh, look, it did. Oh, crap.
Yeah, the importance of not being set in your ways.
So speaking of being set in my ways, I found this great software called, I think it's called like Get Luna or something like that, and it literally writes emails for you.
I saw that.
And I'm like, that's insane. Are you kidding me? So it'll read people's profiles. It'll write the first paragraph as if it read their profile and talked about something relevant to them. And it just...
What, like their Facebook profile?
It'll check their Facebook. It'll check their LinkedIn. It'll check all their socials, find stuff that they're excited about that's new and interesting, and then talk about it as the first line of the email. I'm like, what the? Robots write better emails than people now. It's kind of insane.
Yeah. Well, people aren't very good at it, so I don't think that was too hard.
I guess, but the fact that the robot writes stuff that like, man, I didn't even think about writing that. Like, okay, well now I feel like an idiot.
Yeah, so I saw that. I saw you posted that before, and so it does cold contacting of people that you don't know.
It does cold contacting. Essentially, it finds people that you want to meet because you tell it who you want to meet. It'll go find them. It'll find their email address. It'll write the email for you. All you have to do is push the button to schedule it.
Oh my lord!
Like,
how do you get around Canada's positively Orwellian anti-spam laws?
It's because it's meant for B2B, right? So business to business, you're allowed to reach out to other businesses and say hi. For B2C, you can't bombard people, right? Like, you can't like hit them up and say, want to buy a tampon, want to buy a tampon, want to buy, until they like, snap and be like, I'm a man, damn it. So
I was like, are you saying tampon? Yeah, he is saying
Yes, absolutely. Because I just got some spam about this. I'm like, yo,
okay.
They don't segment this stuff. It's like, target market. Come on, right?
Oh my god. Well, you do have to be careful with that AI. Did you see what KFC in Germany did?
No, I don't know what KFC.
Oh my god, this is terrible. So I don't know. Like, this is really, really awful. So if you're sensitive about this sort of thing, don't tune in. But KFC set up, I guess, an AI.
Yeah.
To make posts about upcoming events.
Okay.
So I guess it imported a calendar and it would, it's here comes Thanksgiving. I don't know if they have Thanksgiving in Germany, but here comes Thanksgiving. Have a bucket of chicken wings.
Right.
Their AI sent out a post that said, grab yourself some KFC to celebrate Kristallnacht.
Kristallnacht.
Do you know what Kristallnacht is?
I have no idea.
My lord, Kristallnacht. I mean, like I said, this is so awful. Kristallnacht was, now I'm actually kind of embarrassed. I don't know exactly, but it was basically a night of violence in Nazi Germany against the Jews. They smashed the windows of Jewish storefronts. So that was why it was
this was in like a calendar of events.
So the German Google Calendar or whatever includes it as not a holiday, but a commemorative day.
Right.
And KFC's AI suggested everyone enjoy a bucket of Kentucky Fried Chicken to celebrate Kristallnacht.
Because, what better way to celebrate Kristallnacht than KFC?
Oh my! So that was.
Sometimes artificial intelligence is artificial stupid too.
Yeah, we're still working out. We're still working out the kinks.
Right, there you go.
What was it? Somebody like, when will sometimes natural stupidity beats out artificial intelligence?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a good quote, actually. There you go.
Okay.
Which is a good segue in today's topic.
Perfect. I also noticed the segue.
That's insane.
We are talking today about content marketing that is very, very content. It's very happy. It's very satisfied. Oh, wait, I'm an idiot. I'm reading that wrong. Content marketing. We're doing content marketing. So we'll just start off with the dumbest possible question of all, but maybe something people need answered. What is content marketing? Earl, take it away.
All right. So content marketing is writing stuff that helps educate your client base as to who you are, what you do, what kind of problems you solve. So if you can build out some interesting content for people and showcase who you are, what you do, and how you help them all at the same time, then that's kind of what content content marketing.
It's in your head.
Now it's stuck in my head. I'm like, I never really realized that content and content was spelt exactly. I guess, yeah, you're right. So
welcome to the English language.
Absolutely. So there you have it. I mean,
so okay, let me dumb it up a little bit. It's you're posting stuff. Is content marketing limited to social media, or is it everywhere else too?
No, it's everywhere. So content marketing could be the brochure that you put out. It could be a newsletter, like an actual physical newsletter that you physically stick in the mail and stick a stamp on, send to people. So content marketing is literally just showcasing, like, the difference between content marketing and like a flyer or like a direct advertising piece is content marketing is talking about the subject, whereas the other one is a direct, hey, want to buy my stuff, right?
Okay. So give me examples.
Like an example would be, let's pretend I own an oil change place, right? Like content marketing would be, did you know, here are the 3 things that cause your car to fail the most? Here are the 3 things that could cause your car to fall apart and die on in the middle of the highway when you need it the most, right? That's a content marketing piece, right? Versus a, hey, bring in this flyer for $10 off an oil change.
Okay.
Right. So it's not a direct, hey, you want to buy my stuff. It's a planting an idea, planting a seed, putting it out there, going, okay, well, this is who we are and what we do. This is the problem that we have. This is the solution that we've got. Cool. If you ever run into this, here's an arrow in your quiver that you can use to then solve this problem.
Right. So you're giving something useful to the people. Yeah,
absolutely. Right. Now, useful, I used in quotes, useful, right? Because as an example, so I'm married, right? When I went to go buy the diamond ring to propose to my girlfriend at the time, that wife, like I had to go learn all this stuff about diamonds, right? There's the 4 C's, the cut, the clarity, blah, 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 all this stuff that makes the man spend more money, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Right. They forgot the other C, the cubic zirconia, right? So
the actually nicer than a diamond and way cheaper cubic zirconia.
Right. It's shinier. It doesn't, but it's not a diamond, so it's not the same. But so these 4 C's, talking about the cut, the clarity, etc., talking about the carats, etc., and all the little bits and pieces. These pieces are content marketing. So when the guy is getting ready to go buy the ring, it's like, okay, well, I feel somewhat slightly empowered that I'm not a complete moron when I'm going to go buy this thing, right? And so like information about this. For example, the cloudiness of the diamond doesn't matter as much when it's on a ring because there's a base on it. So you can't see through it completely anyways, right? Whereas on a pendant or like on earrings, you can see all the way through the damn thing, get a nicer diamond because it'll sparkle better, right? Whereas on a ring,
right there, I'm educated.
It don't matter, right? But this is basic content marketing 101. You're empowering the client to feel a little smarter about what they're about to embark upon. Especially when it's a big expenditure, like a house or a car or a diamond ring or whatever else you want to go buy, right? This is the kind of car you want. Why do you want this kind of car? Well, safety ratings, blah blah blah. If you roll into a ditch, you'll be safe, won't catch on fire and explode. Whatever. It's like here's a bunch of information. So that's what content marketing is supposed to be doing, right?
Now, does that include like humorous marketing?
So that's the problem, right? Like everybody switched over to humorous marketing afterwards, right? And it depends on what your stature is around humorous marketing, right? So you shouldn't be yapping about yourself the entire friggin' time on social media, right? Like let's say you sell mortgages and all you do is post about mortgages, you'll be the most boring person in the universe, right? You can't just talk about who you are, what you do all day long. Especially on social media, every once in a while, it doesn't hurt to share a stupid cat video, right? Like cat's doing something stupid. Hey, this is hilarious or adorable or whatever. Change it up a little bit, right? So that way people aren't sick of your feed, right? So so there you go.
I saw one.
You can do some humor, but don't make it your primary thing, right?
Right. Educating the client.
Educating, yeah.
I saw it for just a humor break in our own show. I saw this great one about marketing.
Okay.
It was a little cartoon, a little comic strip, and it's sort of set up like Psycho. Like this girl's in the shower, showering her hair, and she sees this shadow looming. This guy standing on the other side of the curtain.
Okay.
Right, and she's like, "Oh my god!" And he like puts something down on the counter and leaves, and she sticks your head out of the shower and grabs the thing off the counter, and it was a little flyer for home security.
Nice. I would have liked the we've been trying to contact you about your car insurance.
Yeah, that could be as well. But just I love that. It's like, you tell the person the problem they have. Well, guess what? Someone can just sneak into your house at any time. You don't have alarms or cameras or anything.
Well,
you clearly have the problem.
But these days, I mean, it's hilarious. The other solution to everything is like, hey, Amazon, just break into my house, open my door, deliver it, put it inside my house, and then close my door and don't steal anything. Okay, so it just gets interesting, right?
Just like, order food off Amazon and deliver it into my mouth.
Yeah, exactly. Feed it to me like an emperor, right? Yeah. So there you go.
So I think probably a lot of people don't realize, they hear content marketing and they just think sort of put some fluff on social media. But you're saying right off the bat, it's got to be primarily educational to the people reading it.
Well, there's got to be a flow to it. There's got to be a point to it. Right. So if it's a funny cat picture, right, or a cat video, whatever it is, you should make it shareable so people can share this. And the hilarity is when they share that, they'll see that it came from your page and they go, hey, this guy posts really interesting content. This girl posts really interesting content. I'm interested in who they are as a person because they post funny stuff. Let's go check out who they are and what they do. Right. And just by nature of just human nature sharing stuff, right, you could be posting a recipe for cheesecake. You could be posting, pictures of food that you ate. You could be posting pictures of your pet, pictures of your walk, whatever it is you do. Like part of this stuff is also good for people getting to know you as a person, right? Like you're not just, it's not B2B, it's not B2C, it's P2P, person to person, right?
Okay.
And you end up liking the people that you want to do business with, right? This is how it works.
So you're trying to be engaging, interesting. People want to you want to write content that people actually enjoy consuming.
Yeah, and it's not just writing; it's talking. So like we're doing right now, we're making a video for the podcast. But if someone were to strip just the audio out of this, there's audio there, and if someone were to transcribe all of this, oh look, it's an article now or a blog or whatever you want it to be, right? So it depends on the nature of the customer that you're trying to attract. Right. And the reason why we do the video thing is, unfortunately, I don't like video. I don't like watching video typically. Right. It's because it's slower in terms of consumption than just straight reading or just straight slides or just straight, here's my information that I want to go get. Right. So
yeah, it was a big breakthrough. It was a big breakthrough for me when I realized that I can watch instructional videos on YouTube at 1.75 speed.
Yes, absolutely.
I cannot listen to them at 1 time speed anymore.
Well, this is why I stopped putting background music in my content. Because the reason is because if you put background music in the content and you speed it up, one, it's going to sound ridiculous, right? Everyone sounds like chipmunks already anyways, when you speed it up that much. And then two, the background music going really fast, it's hilarious. Right. Like it's unlistenable. So it's like, oh yeah, I guess, because I used to put background music in all my stuff to make it sound more interesting while you're listening to it. The problem is that if people are here for the content and they want to hear what you have to say and they want to learn something and they put you on faster speeds, no, with the background music, it's unbearable. At least for me personally, I can't take it.
Yeah, overstimulated. So what is the, you got video versus audio versus blog? So they reach different audiences, is what you're saying.
Well, people like learning in different modalities, and it shifts as you grow in your life, right? So as an example, I'm a voracious reader. I read like a maniac. But when I'm going for a walk, I can't be holding my phone up to my face, running around like I'm going to hit my car, right? Yeah. So when I'm going for a walk, I started listening to podcasts. I started listening to audios. I thought, audios are useless. Why would I ever want to listen to an audiobook when I can't read, right? So all of a sudden, I started getting this appreciation for audio tracks, and this started making a whole bunch of sense. So I'm still reading the book. It is going a little slower than I would normally take, but I'm also trying not to get hit by a car and not trying to get run over. And I'm trying to order a coffee all at the same time. So I actually appreciate the slowness of the audio tracks this time. I don't put them on hyper speed. I put them on normal while I go for my walk, do my thing, right, collecting my thoughts and learning stuff all at the same time. Right, I can withstand the normal speed, right? Whereas if I'm after a piece of information, no, give it as fast as you can give it to me, right? So I prefer reading, which is why I hate watching videos typically, right?
Yeah.
Because videos go painstakingly slow usually because it wants to go to the beat of the slowest drum so that everybody can catch on and get it, right?
Right.
So
So you're saying
you
with
go.
your brilliant use of your time, make a video, strip the audio, transcribe it, which I'm sure
Yeah.
is done with AI. You're
Yeah.
getting 3 pieces of content reaching 3 different types of consumer.
Absolutely. And then, furthermore, right? So this is what Joe Rogan does. So the reason why Joe Rogan exploded, other than the fact that he's entertaining, right?
Yeah.
Love him, hate him, whatever. He records his podcast just like we're recording right now. He turns the camera on, has the camera going while he's doing the podcast, just a regular show. But then he takes that again. He does exactly what we just said. He has the video, he has the audio, he transcribes it into the show notes, and then to boot, he has like an editing team take the entire long form video, chop it up into smaller bits, and everything these days is shorts, right? There's YouTube shorts, there's reels on Instagram, there's TikTok, which is everything's like 30 seconds long, a minute long. So because the attention span is so short, you can chop these big long form pieces into small bite-sized pieces that get them hooked and go, oh, I got to listen to the rest of that. And then before you know it, you're listening to the 3-hour version of it, right? So there you go.
So and Joe Rogan also frequently talks about how he's a dumb guy and he interviews smart guys. So it sounds like we're shortly going to be as successful as Joe Rogan.
Definitely.
Following the same formula, we'll get the same result, right?
Well, the neat part is because they chop up the small bits based on what's trending in the marketplace now. All they need to do is say interesting things that are prevalent to today's news, right?
Yeah.
So, we talked, if we talked about Elon Musk, for example, firing a third of Twitter or whatever, and then Facebook or Meta following suit, Google following suit, Amazon following suit, and everybody just this big, great firing. All of a sudden that one piece that we talk about becomes the interesting piece to the artificial intelligence because that's what the whole damn world is talking about and searching, right?
Okay, so here's what we're doing next week. We're gonna, before the show, we're gonna just look at what's trending on Twitter and just spend the middle 5 minutes of the show just specifically mentioning those things.
There you go. There's the hack. Right, we just find Twitter, find what's trending, and then let's talk about this for 3 to 5 minutes. There you go.
Just mention it somewhere. There you go. I came up with the hack of the week.
There you go. It's a good hack.
We're gonna have to switch seats. No, okay, I like this. Oh, reading your writing out loud. What's that?
Reading your writing out loud. So when you write content, one of the secret tricks to checking the content to see how well it's going to be received is read it out loud and listen to the recording.
Okay.
So read it out loud. Like people like to receive content the way they would have been spoken to, right? So because I don't know how to explain this. People get all weird and uppity when they write stuff. They change it up and it's just like, oh, now it's all formal, right?
And they use words much larger than they're comfortable with in speaking. I've noticed.
Yes.
Because they got to think they're sounding hoity-toity.
Yeah, but then when you say it, you try to say it and your tongue gets all tied up. It feels all weird, and it's like, oh yeah, I guess that's a little too verbose, right? That's too much words, too many words. So
verbose, good word.
There you go. So
right.
Read your stuff out loud, and is this the way you would have said it? If it's not the way you would have said it, change it to the way you would have said it, and keep it simple.
Do you have any tips for people who don't like to write? I've found in my marketing business, I'll ask my customers for content. I'll say, well, just write me a quick paragraph about, your blah, blah, blah service. And they never do it.
They'll never do it. They'll never write. Yeah. So it's much easier, I find, to just interview them.
Yeah.
Right. Get them on a call, record the call, ask a bunch of questions, have the recording, play back. And because it's in their language pattern and the way of their style of speaking, right? You don't have to rewrite it that hard. Fix a couple of grammar mistakes here and there, and you're done, right? And so interview somebody for 15 minutes, and there's your whole article, right? Just have them talk about it for a little while, and then you have most of your article written for you already.
Yeah. So I guess that's exactly what I started doing with my clients because I realized they won't write the content. But here I am thinking of another hack, and I'm really shaking the mantle of idiot today because I feel like I'm firing on all cylinders
It's
here.
okay. Maybe I can be the idiot today. It's like,
Yeah.
Earl is
Well,
the
I just realized that if you have to write something, and
Yes.
most people will not, like, they sit down and they, remember SpongeBob, he writes the big fancy T, a big fancy the,
Yes.
and then nothing else. He spends all afternoon on it or whatever.
Yeah.
If you need to be able to write something, just ask somebody to talk to you about it and record that.
Yeah. Absolutely.
How's that for a hack?
Right.
Because
Well,
I
you're gonna
interview my
get-
clients, but if you're trying to create your own content marketing for your own company, you might
Yes.
have trouble doing the writing. So just get someone, sit. So you have someone there, sit them down and tell them what you want to say, and then they just transcribe it.
Well, hilarity is just have them ask you the questions that your customers ask you on a regular basis. Just have them ask you the question, hit record. You'll come up with the writing. It's like, oh, look, there's the content, and it sounds like you, it feels like you, etc., etc. And if you're okay with it being on video, we're done, right? If you want it to be an audio track, strip the audio, you're done. If you want it to be an article, you'll grammar check it, and you're done.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought I was going to say something brilliant, but it disappeared. I'm returning back to being an idiot again.
Okay.
I like this one here in the notes because it sounds evil. Spy on your competitors.
Spying on your competitors. So
Spy on your competitors.
There you go. Well, people ask, what do I write? How should I write? How do I beat the other guys? And it's really easy. It's a very niche concept, but there's nothing new under the sun, right? So look at your competitors, see what they're talking about, see what their people are talking about, right? A really good way to here's content marketing. You want to figure out what makes you stand out from your competition. Go look at your competitors' reviews. Anything 2, 3, or even 1-star reviews. People stuff that they complain about stuff that you do regularly as a regular part. Like, don't make it special as a regular part of your service. Something that you would solve off of your competitor that makes you different from them already. There you go. Hey, people usually complain about X, Y, Z. Let's talk about this. We guarantee that this stuff gets delivered on time, right? So
yeah. So
there you go. So spying on your competitors, for sure, that works like a hot damn, right? Like, we just find people who are complaining. It's sales 101. Like, when you're talking to a competitor's client, it's okay. If you could have a magic button and you could push that button, you can fix anything you ever wanted about your vendor. What would you fix, right? And the moment you can get that insight, there's your content right there. Like, those are red hot buying reasons why people buy from anybody or would like to buy from somebody, but they can't get from the current provider.
Now, in my experience, content marketing, it's a bit like shoveling coal on the fire, right? Like, you don't expect necessarily that your first article you write is going to go viral and get you millions of customers. You got to be kind of constantly making it, right?
Yes and no. So there's 2 trains of thought on this, right? So there's a couple guys who are really, really good at content marketing, and their argument is you only need 1 or 2 articles, 1 or 2. So you have 1 or 2 like really damn good articles. Everything else is an offshoot of those 1 or 2, and it's a different spin of the same damn thing, just from a different angle, from a different point of view, from a different perspective. And you're driving everything to these 1 or 2 like main pillar type articles. And those main pillar type articles have that call to action where it's like, okay, well, if this is something that sounds like you, that you might need as a service or a product or whatever it is, if this is the problem that you have, and here's a solution for you, why don't you come pick one up, right? And so, that's a prevalent and that works as well. I've seen people get to mid 8 figures just using a few, pillar pieces of content, and then having everything else dance around those pillars.
Give me some examples of that. Make that concrete for me.
So an example of like a big pillar piece of content would be, here's the ultimate guide on how to, solve back pain, right? And so you talk about hot and cold. You talk about taking a bath. You talk about stretching. You talk about being upside down on one of those upside down flippy things. You talk about a chiropractor helping you. You talk about a registered massage therapist helping you out. You talk about acupressure, acupuncture. You talk about shock therapy. You talk about shock wave therapy, right? And I'm just pulling this stuff out of whatever because I talked to a guy who fixes backs for a living, right?
Yeah.
So once you have this kind of this big giant piece of content that talks about all the different ways that you could solve back problems. And this is what Robitussin does or whatever. Like this here is Robaxacet. Like this is the thing that this is a muscle relaxant. This will help fix your back. Blah blah blah. Whatever.
Yeah.
So as you go through these different bits and pieces, you got this big pillar piece of content, and then you can kind of shift it towards this is what my expertise is. So here are all the ways that you could be doing it. Here's what we specialize in. If this is the kind of pain you seem to be experiencing, we might have a solution for you. Come see us at whatever.
Right. Because that pillar piece can include like, oh, these other modalities don't work, or why the traction machine's not a good idea or whatever.
It's better to attract flies with honey than it is with the other stuff, right? So I don't like poo-pooing the competitors necessarily in a pillar piece of content.
Attracting flies with poo-pooing the competition.
yeah. You see how I did that there? All right,
that was good. I was like,
there you go. So segue. But but that's really it. If you explain it in its entire whole, people go, wow, this person really knows what they're talking about. They go, oh, holy cow, I really want to work with this person because they understand all the other things and this is what they're for, right?
Right.
But then when you self-identify of, hey, you know what, that's the kind of pain, like it's a sharp pain versus a dull pain versus a stretchy pain versus a who knows what kind of pain, right? Yeah. So when you can explain what their problem is better than they can explain it themselves, you got this pillar piece of content that talks about all the different ways of fixing this thing. There you go, right? You can do spin-offs of every single one. Here's why being upside down helps you fix your back, right? Et cetera, et cetera. Maybe it's your shoes, maybe it's your bed, right? Maybe it's your chair, right? Maybe you need an ass cushion for your chair everywhere you go, so that way it feels better so that your spine doesn't compress weird.
Right.
Who knows?
Okay, so but then how do you spin off into lesser content from there?
Well, the lesser content spins off by being smaller. Right. So you have here's why being upside down helps your back. And then if you're interested in seeing all the other modalities, this little piece of content drives into the really big pillar piece. The big pillar piece gets their attention like after the fact, and like it keeps their attention and retains it and shows the fact that you are indeed an expert. Right. So you've got a boat, right? And if you've got the really big fishing hook is the big pillar piece of content. But then you got all these little mini fishing hooks hanging off of it too. Right. So number one, Google likes that kind of stuff. The more relevant you are and the deeper relevance you are able to show, Google goes, hey, this person's an expert, right? They don't just have one piece of content, they got 11 pieces of content and they all kind of interweave together. So that makes sense. I mean, if you think of one of the things that ranks best on the internet, Wikipedia, well, what does Wikipedia look like? It's a giant pillar piece of content with a bunch of smaller articles that spin off all the other little bits.
Apparently on Wikipedia, every article is like 7 clicks away from philosophy or something.
Something like that. Or
you ever heard that? Yeah. Anyway, there's a digression for you.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah. Well, how long should that pillar piece be? And then how long are the smaller pieces?
The pillar piece, realize that the pillar piece is the one that establishes your credentials and expertise, right? So until people give a damn, nobody gives a crap about the pillar piece. Right. So the little ones are what gets their attention. The little ones show them, hey, is this interesting to you? Yes, it is. I'm interested in fixing my back pain. All right, cool. Right. Then the big one goes, hey, here's every single way. So it scratches that itch. Right. Some people who are the analytical types want to know every damn angle of the universe. Well, you give it to them. Right. Yeah. Anybody who doesn't like it can skim to the bottom and say, oh, yeah, by the way, we do this once to fix your stuff. Yes. Right. So it helps kind of fix all different modalities, right? So hope that answers the question, right?
Yeah.
The little ones lead to the big one. The big one is the one that goes, I am the 800-pound gorilla, please follow me. And then they listen to you.
I've sometimes had the thought that you shouldn't necessarily write your best article from the get-go, but I guess that could apply to the smaller stuff. Like you should have your big pillar and then maybe write some less interesting stuff to sort of stoke the flames a little bit. And then once there's some traction, then you hit them with the more engaging articles.
Yeah, well, here's the thing though, like they're gonna find the articles, you're gonna put them all up, they're all gonna be out there, right? And sometimes it's the older articles that end up getting people's attention. and bring them back, right? The other trick is, updating some of your older articles. If there's some new products that came in that fix back pain, update the old one saying, hey, in 2022, 2023, whenever you want to listen to this episode, add a year. And like, that's one of the best things that you could potentially do. You look at your Google Search Console, you look at your analytics, and you go, hey, look, this is the best performing article. We haven't updated this damn thing in 5 years. Hey, let's update it, give it a bit of a refresh, put some new content on there. Boom. Right. And then you've got the big new pillar, the shiny new pillar. Yeah. And then you've got all the new spin-offs that you can make off of the new techniques, right? Like this, for example, in regards to back pain or shoulder pain or neck pain or whatever, there's this thing that apparently helps dull the pain sensors, but lets your body repair itself still. Like, what the heck is this? And I've never seen it before. I'm seeing ads for it now. I'm like, oh my gosh, I think I know what I want for Christmas, right? So it's just like, I have shoulder pain. Like if that thing fixes my shoulder pain and I can stretch it out and do stuff to it without me, excruciating pain, that sounds great. Hey, maybe I'll get more, blood flowing in the spots where there should be, right? That sounds fantastic. I would love that thing, right? So yeah, I would definitely try that.
So you say to keep a flow. Is that what you're talking about with the flow of the small articles and the big ones? Or are you talking about the flow of the customer progression?
Well, there's got to be some sort of customer progression, right? That you gotta. It's really simple. This is who I am. This is what I do. This is what I'd like you to do next, right? And it could be check out this next article. That could be the next flow progression step. It could be sign up for the newsletter so you can see who we are and what we do on a regular basis. It could be, hey, subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can see whenever we post a new video, right? Or it could be by the time they've finished reading the big killer one, if they make it to the bottom of that sucker, right? You go, hey, if this sounds like you and you want this type of solution, why don't you book a discovery call today, right? Or why don't you download this thing so that you can see some more information before you make your buying decision, right? So that's the key in content marketing, right? It's the key in any marketing. What's the next step after I watch the video, after I click on the ad, after I fill out the form? What's the next step? And if there is no next step, you're doing it wrong. There's always a next step.
Perfect. All right, now we're running out of time here, but we're going to get onto the hack for a week. Try that again. Getting on to time for hack of the week. There we go. And I'm a little scared about this one because I don't want people to know this one.
I think I shared this one with you a little while back.
Yeah, and it's too good. And please don't tell them because it makes me look like a screaming genius when we all know I am, in fact, an idiot.
Well, here you go.
But here, all right. I guess it's not mine. I don't get to keep it. Tell the people.
Hack of the week. There you go.
Hack of the week.
So there's my hack sound. So there's a really good tool out there, and the tool is called Ink for All. And this tool, what it does is, if you don't know, Ink for All. Yeah. And if you ever wanted to do research and you ever wanted to figure out, hey, how many words does this thing need to be? How long should this article be for it to be in Google's good graces? All this thing does, it's so best practices out the window. Forget it. Why don't we just monkey see, monkey do what's already currently working, right? So what this thing does is it'll check the first 10, 20 articles. It'll do a word count. It'll do an average word count, and it'll tell you, hey, you probably need this many words to rank for this stuff. The other thing it does is it'll tell you what level of language needs to be spoken for this thing to be okay, right? Can I talk at a university level? Do I use the big words or do I use small words, right? And it depends, right? If you're trying to sell a university education, probably time to break out the big words. Yeah. You're trying to sell like a lawyer or a doctor. Oh yeah, let's bring out the big words. Let's use all the jargon in the universe to make it sound smarter. But if you're trying to sell a bucket, don't use 10 words where 2 will do, right? Don't use the big fancy ones where the simple ones will. So that's what Ink for All helps you do. It helps you figure out, hey, what can I do to make this better? That it's a better customer experience, a better readability factor, a better everything factor. And it does everything for you. It does all the heavy lifting for you. So the neat part is, the hilarious thing is, even though I give this away, even though I tell people about this, right? They're still not going to do it.
Yeah, that's right? Kind of true.
They're still going to hire you. They're still going to hire me. They're still going to hire the marketing guy to go, hey, I know you told me what the tool was. I bought the tool. Here's my username and password. Can you please use it for me?
Just do it. Yeah. I guess we're safe.
So totally safe. I've told thousands of people about this tool, and they still hire me and go, okay, I know you said buy this tool. We bought it. Here you go. Can you make it go for us? Like, oh, okay, sure.
I spoke to someone who worked with a TV production studio, and they said, you can hire a guy and you can teach him to be a cameraman. You can hire a guy and teach him to do lighting. He said you can't hire people and make them into writers.
Writing takes a little more time, I think, to train. Like it's definitely a harder to learn skill than where to put the light.
Yeah, exactly. It's all, makes me feel comfortable though, because I do write and I feel like I'm safe in that. Although AI is rapidly endangering the profession.
It depends. I've seen a lot of AI writing. I've used all of the AI writers. In fact, here's my confession on live broadcast.
You're actually an AI bot.
Yes, I'm an AI bot. So I had to write a letter for my kids, and I was just too lazy. So I made the AI writer do it for me.
For what? For
some school administration thing. They're like, oh yeah, we need a letter from the parents. It says this and this and this and this. I'm like, cool. Hey, watch this. Boop. The thing spat out a letter in 7 seconds. I'm like, I love the internet. I don't think anybody knows. Well, I guess the whole damn world knows that because this is going live. But
now you've done it. The school's going to come find you, and
the kids have long graduated. It's over.
Oh, okay,
it's over.
I was just thinking the school's going to come find you and make you write it in person so they can actually see you do it.
I can. I just don't want to. But if the robots can do it, hey man, there you go.
I was just thinking there's going to be some service where like things are written with a quill pen. You know what I mean? Where it's like, so this piece of content only exists on this piece of paper and it's only for you. Like that's going to become valuable because AI is just going to make endless content.
But then some idiot's going to take a picture of it, turn it into an NFT and sell it to you as an NFT. But
some smart idiot. We love smart idiots around here. Well, that sounds like a perfect thing to end off on. Earl, thank you so much. This has been absolutely illuminating and humiliating how much you know. But we hope everyone has found something useful. Any closing words?
Yeah, man, make more content. That's pretty much it. Go make content because people want to know who you are and what you do, what differentiates you from every other person in your category, right? So make some content, make it interesting, make it fun to consume.
Sure. You go. All right. Well, we hope our content has been interesting today. Have you got the outro queued up?
Absolutely. Got it ready to go.
Perfect. Thanks, Earl. Thanks everybody for listening. Have a great week.
Cheers, Dan. Appreciate you.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening to Earl and the Idiot. We hope you learned something you can take action on this week. For more information or to contact the show, visit earlandtheidiot.com. And until next time, remember what Shakespeare said. The fool doth think he is wise, but the wise man knows himself to be a fool.
Thanks for tuning in.